I'm at Walmart in China, and I am really curious to go inside and see just how much American products cost and how they compare to their Chinese counterparts. I'm in one of my favorite sections now at a Walmart, and it's the beer section, and I'm noticing a pretty big discrepancy between the American beer and the Chinese beer. So we've got some Budweiser for 64 yen, that's almost $9 for a 6-pack. Then we have a local brand, 17 yen, that's a little bit over $2. So that's almost a 4-time discrepancy if you want to drink the American version. So I wanted to compare the price of the American sodas with the Chinese brands, but I've actually been pretty astonished. It's almost all American products here, period. Variations of Coke, Pepsi, Fanta, Sprite. Most of this aisle are things that you would see in the USA, and if a trade war or tariffs start to get crazy, I can only imagine how much they're gonna go up in price and how much it's gonna affect the people in China as well. This has surprisingly been one of the biggest price differences I've seen in the condoms. You have Directs for as much as 21 US dollars for a box. And then you have Jisban, which is a Chinese brand, for more like between $4 and $5. So the difference between the American and the Chinese condoms is as much as 4 times more. That's a lot. You want to get a pint of Haagen-Dazs macadamia nut ice cream in China, you're gonna pay for it. This costs 99 Chinese yen. That is roughly 13 US dollars. I think in the USA, this is gonna go for maybe $4. Some of the Chinese ice cream here was going way cheaper, maybe $1 or $2 for a pint. I also noticed the Magnum flavored ice cream, which is from the USA, going at significantly more money for some bars, maybe $6 or $7. So in the ice cream section, the American products have a huge premium on them in China. I notice a solid difference in the price between American laundry detergent and Chinese detergent. For the Tide, it is 50 yen, which is roughly $6.50. And then we move over here to a Chinese brand, and it is $26.99, and that's $3.50. So that's a pretty significant difference between the Chinese and the American detergent here. Let's talk about soap. Dove soap going for $3.50 for 3 bars. The local soap going for $1.30 for 3 bars. So we're seeing a difference here also. One big thing I've noticed is actually that the American brand clothing seems to be cheaper here. You can get Nike shirts for $8 or $9, a Reebok golf polo for $7.50. And what I think I've realized is that these aren't knockoffs, but they have permission to make them here in China with different quality, with different material that's cheaper to make. So in theory, you can come to China and buy a more or less legit Reebok polo like this. Could actually be a good deal in that sense. So I'm walking around here, and really all I see is American brands for the clothes. They've got Puma, Gap, Adidas, Dickies. I think a lot of the clothing here in the stores in China is very American dependent. And it will be interesting to see how much these prices are gonna go up if the tariffs continue. If you're an American, the price of eggs here in China is going to shock you. For 30 eggs, it costs just 20 Chinese yen. That's like a little bit under $3. You want to buy this in the USA, you're looking at easily $10 or $15. What a difference. I'm from New York, so whenever I see bagels somewhere in another country like China, it always makes me really curious. And they have plain bagels, whole wheat, black olive cheese, blueberry bagels. Price isn't bad, it's like $1.50. What you don't see around here though is any spreads like cream cheese or scallion type of cream cheese for it. But I am impressed that inside the Walmart here in China, bagels do exist. Don't assume your furry friends here in China aren't being impacted by price differences. We have Whiskas over here compared to the Chinese brand for cat food. I'm not sure what it's called, but it has Chinese writing on it. And there is almost a $3 difference with the Whiskas at 56 yen versus the 36 yen for the Chinese cat food. I want to give your cat in China the American brand. Be prepared to pay for it extra. So I just left the Walmart in China, and I have a couple observations I want to share about my time inside. The first is that if there were American products, usually it was about 3, 4, sometimes even 5 times more for it than the China counterpart. Now, I don't know if that's fully because of tariffs or importation fees, but you definitely pay a premium here if you want the American products. Another thing that I noticed was that for certain products, it was very American for what they were offering. Soft drinks, for example, I saw a lot of sodas from the USA. Clothing was another example, a lot of Gap, Nike, Adidas, really leading the way for clothes inside of the Walmart. But on the same token, not everything was super American dependent. For example, going into the frozen section, I didn't see a whole lot of American products. The same with, you know, the fruits, the vegetables. China sources plenty of their own stuff here as well. And in the coming weeks, it's gonna be really interesting to see just how bad and just how expensive products from the USA are going to cost at Walmart in China. Guys, I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for a lot more interesting content from here in China and around the world. Until next time, later.